Good evening. Hello, this is Kevin Lopez back again from Personal Tutor, my friend. In the series of providing you online solutions, online sessions and videos about chapters, subjects, we at Personal Tutor have completed numerous books of Standard 12th, Standard 11th, Standard 10th, and in the following series, we today are going to take up the book Beehive in 9th Standard CBSE NCERT syllabus, and the chapter is Packing. It's written by Jerome, who himself is a part of this play or a short story. It's about three people out there, that is Jerome, George and Harris. These are three friends and a pretty dog named Montmorency. My friends, it's a satirical play about how friends treat each other. You know, at times it happens that friends are pulling each other's legs. You know, we have been putting up pranks for our classmates, for our colleagues and people around. We have been doing that again and again in the school age of ours. You would be doing that today in the school and the classrooms as well, my friends. So this is all about packing. It happens so that the friends decide to go for a hike, and thus the protagonist, that is Jerome, decides to show them his packing skills. Here, Jerome has a peculiar habit of pulling down his friends by letting them know that their packing skills are no good, whereas Jerome's packing skills are perfect. It is a comedy in a satirical approach. It happens so that Jerome starts to go for packing stuff and encounters a lot of problems. He forgets the spoons, he forgets the butter on the chair. Later on, Harris goes ahead and one of the friends sits on the chair and gets the butter stuck behind. When they try to find the butter, it's not found. It's found at the back of a friend. The dog, that is Montmorency, he seems to be exquisite baby. It happens so that whenever we are going on a trip, whenever the family is going on a trip, we often go ahead and get the stuff spilled on the bed or a mattress or anything there, and then we start, putting it up in the bag. And young children in our house, they feel so excited about finding those jewels and memorable things, they find them magnificent, that what is being packed. In the same way, Montmorency, the dog, jumped around, went ahead and sniffed everything that he could see that was being packed. He jumped over the jams, spilled it out, the breads, and everything was a rush. It happens so that in order to put down his friends, Jerome gets engrossed so deeply in the process of packing that he forgets to pack important things, rather than goes ahead and packs his tobacco bone in the bag. He opens the packing twice, and thus giving a notion to his friends that even though he is perfect in packing, it is something wrong that happens all the time. It's a satirical approach, my friends. You can read the chapter and then you can come to a conclusion that it has been a perfect epic, perfect story, perfect melodrama of trial and error. It's not that he is a perfect fellow, he does it by trial and error. That's what the crux comes out later on. The crux of the story is here that we as friends often go ahead and pull each other's legs. We find solace in giving our friends certain mischievous pains that get them into a fix. That's what the crux of the story here goes as. It is George and Harris who just go ahead and sit down on the couch, start smoking as Jerome goes ahead with the task of packing, my friends. Jerome, on the other hand, wanted George and Harris to help him in the process of packing, whereas they both unintentionally just sit down on the couch and start smoking. Now that's where Jerome feels that he's been dejected and he's been trapped in his own net. He wanted to show them, he wanted to order them to pack stuff in a certain manner, which was totally eradicated by two friends. They were looking forward on him to do the whole task. That made him feel puny and stupid. It happens, my friends. That is what is mentioned in the chapter. Let's have a look at a few question and answers of this chapter that will give you a more elaborate and a brief idea of what exactly the story is all about. The first question is, do you like going on trips? What kind of trips do you enjoy the most? How do you feel about having a pack for a trip? Have you ever discovered a trip that you have forgotten a pack a few things very much, and does that make you angry or does it make you laugh? Do you like going on a trips? This is a question that I would ask you, my friends. Do you like going on a trip? Yes, of course. Everybody likes going on a trip, my friends. It is during the summer vacations, the winter vacations. In India, here, we have got a quite numerous vacations on the occasions of festivals. So it is the Deepavali time, it is the Navratris, and many more winter vacations during the Christmas and the New Year. People usually often pack their bags and move on to the trips nearby. Either it's a hill station or a sanctuary or a trip to the relative. The things that we pack for our trips are the most important things that we would be looking forward to have during our trip. May it be a first aid kit, may it be our clothes, some packaged food, some packaged water, and so on, many things that are intentionally to be used during the trip. Now, often do you forget, third question here is, do you forget certain things during packing of a trip? Yes, it often happens. A recent student of mine left for a distant country, was offered a laptop by the university, but this old bloke forgot to take the laptop adapter with him. Now that's what makes it a bunch of a brick. That is what certain things, usually we forget. Often people go ahead and forget the tickets of the boarding passes. They forget to turn off the electrical appliances in the house. That's what usually happens when we usually end up going to the trips. Does that make you feel, the fourth question would be, does that make you feel angry or give a humorous approach? At times, my friends, we as kids find it humorous. Certain things asked by our elders to be done while locking the house or shutting down the appliances, and we often forget it, and we find a giggle out of it, right? That's what happens over here. The parents, the elders, they do not find it humorous enough, but yes, we do. So the answer would be that yes, at times the approach is a bit hilarious for us to understand that exactly while going on a trip, if we forget something, we don't regret. It is the excitement of the trip that is making us feel the emancipation, the anticipation that we usually carry around with us. It is not what we have forgotten. So the fourth answer concludes over here. Let's have a look at the answer that will give in-depth brief of the chapter that we are going to study. How many characters are there in the narrative, and name them? Well, as I said you earlier, the first character, the protagonist, is Jerome, his two friends George and Harris, and a super cute dog that is Montmorency, who's been running around like a kid during the whole process of packing. The next question is, why did the narrator volunteer to do the packing? As I said, the narrator, Jerome, finds that his friends are puny enough to do a task of packing for a trip or something like that, thus trying to show his superiority out there, and sow a seed of otherness. He offers them to let him pack the stuff. The intention of him was to go ahead and order them and make them do the stuff of packing, which was hilariously burdened by the fact that both the friends immediately left everything and sat on the couch and started smoking out there, thus making Jerome feel a puny. How did George and Harris react to this, and did Jerome like the reaction? As I said, George and Harris invited and anticipated the fact that Jerome would be doing the packing for them. Thus, they left every work, sat down on the couch, perfectly sitting in a comfortable posture, and thus going ahead and smoking their tobacco out. Did Jerome like this reaction? No, not at all. Jerome wasn't thinking about such stuff. He was planning to give them orders to go ahead and pack certain things in a certain manner. That's why he did not like the reaction at all. What was Jerome's real intention when he offered to pack? As I said earlier, the real intention of Jerome here was to order his friends in a manner to pack certain things that are to be done, which was really shattered badly. What did Harris say after the bag was shut and strapped? Why do you think he waited till then? Harris, a fellow who had a peculiar touch of teasing Jerome in his every task. He knew that Jerome hadn't packed the boots. Thus, he knew that he hadn't packed the boots. Still, he waited till the end of the packing, till the bags were tied, and till the packing was finished. Then, the very moment he asked Jerome, "Did you pack the boots?" That was when Jerome felt startled that he did not go ahead and pack the boots, my friends. Thus, had the process of opening and untying the whole baggage. The luggage was open, the things were taken out, and he started searching for them. That's where he realized that it was actually Harris who had played the game with him. Now, what horrible idea occurred to Jerome a little later? The most horrible idea that he had was to let them know that where the toothbrush is. My friends, the toothbrush later on was found inside the boot. Can you imagine somebody's toothbrush found inside someone else's boots? That was a sort of thing that created an idea in Jerome's mind. And then Jerome had to make a lot of effort to find his toothbrush. He had packed everything, had to rummage through the package bags, open it out, and as I said, my friends, it was a task that was really, really unworthy for Jerome out there. Now, the next question here goes as, what did George and Harris offer to pack and why? George and Harris, as I said, offered to pack the hampers for carrying the food. That's all they'd wanted to do. The most important thing for them during the trip was supposed to be the package, the hampers of food. Thus, the both friends simply offered him to go ahead and pack the food packets that were most necessary according to them. This really went ahead and irritated Jerome, who was really feeling puny and bad about the thought. That's what he said, that they wanted him to start doing the packing and they would be taking care of the food and the lunch pack. Now, what does Jerome say was Montmorency's ambition in his life? What do you think of Montmorency and why? Montmorency the dog. He had an intention in life of going ahead and stepping out in front of anybody who walks in and fall down. That was the most important intention of Montmorency's life according to Jerome. Jerome wanted, and he knew that Montmorency is a dog who often goes ahead and stands in front of people who are walking by, thus they stumble out. That makes him feel really, really horrible and sad, and thus he says that this was his intention. Later on, he also says that Montmorency is a dog like a baby. He goes ahead and gets the touch of rummaging through anything that is open, like investigating as if a detective trying to look forward for a thing. This resembles a child's approach when things are kept open in front of him, my friends. Thus, this gives a brief to us about them. The next question is, of the three, Jerome, George and Harris, who do you think is the best or the worst packager? Support your answer with details. How did Montmorency contribute to the packing? Do you find this story funny? What are the humorous events? All three friends proved to be good in packing. Yet, they pull each other's legs so as to go ahead and rummage them and deny them the expertise that they carried. This is what happens to them, my friends. They often seek to the fact that the packing done by them is not perfect. They try to pull each other's legs. They try to show each other down by letting us know that the packing has not been completed. May it be forgetting the toothbrush, may it be forgetting the boots, may it be going ahead and carrying up the packaged bags. That's the thing. Montmorency's contribution. Now let's talk about the contribution made by a dog while you're packing for your trip. Montmorency's contributions was simple, my friend. He went ahead and spilled the jam, went ahead and licked the spoons as if it was something for him, or the bones offered or the food offered to him. He goes ahead and ends up rummaging to the stuff, making the narrator stumble, and later getting hit by a pan on his head. That was the favorite activity, as Jerome says, was the last thing that made Montmorency run away. Every time Montmorency stood in front of somebody, thus make him stumble and fall, was hit by something on his head, thus making the poor dog run away, my friends. Let's have a look at a few question and answers more. There is a traffic jam. During the power cuts, when the traffic lights go off, there is an utter dash at the crossroads. The situation that relates to this chapter over here is a situation of chaos. That's what is mentioned according to the chapter. The next thing would be drivers add to the confusion by dash over there right of the way by getting into a row. They usually go ahead and end up ending in a row, my friends. That's what is mentioned over here. And nearly come to blows. Sometimes passerby seeing a few policemen dash at regulating traffic, that is slaving at the regulating traffic, step in to help. This gives them a feeling of having dash everything. Usually it happens. We see in our city, wherever there is a traffic jam, people come out and start helping the traffic policemen, and that's what make them feels accomplished, as if they have gone ahead and done a big task by letting the traffic move out, the jam run out. That is what is done. So this chapter here ends up, my friends, by showing that packing is not an easy stuff. It's a chaotic situation. People try to help, as if Jerome tried to help and Montmorency tried to help them, yet it wasn't more helpful, rather than it created more a chaotic situation, my friends. So this was the brief explained by me on behalf of Personal Tutors. If you've got some comments or some questions, please do comment below. We will be glad to answer you out. Want to know something about Personal Tutors? Please press the button about us and do subscribe our channel. We have been receiving overwhelming response, my friends. Now, if you want to have data online, we provide it online. If you want to have it in pen drive, we can provide it in pen drive to you as well. Want to know something about us, directly give us a call, or you can go ahead and inform us. So we'll be glad to help you out in more sessions, my friends. This was Kevin Lopez signing off today. Thank you very much for attending this session.